and welcome back to my channel. This is my second video uploading. I definitely wanted to do more before this, but we got sick, and this is the first time I've actually been able to sit down and record something. So I wanted to just go ahead and dive right into my review and my thoughts on A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas. This book has been highly anticipated by the book community. Anyone who's a fan of Sarah J. Maas has been waiting for months and months for this release. I being one of them. Definitely I pre-ordered it. The day of release, I was waiting for my copy to come in. It wasn't going to come in until Friday or Saturday, and my husband went and bought me this copy on release day so I can get started on it, and I love him for that. So that being said, I want to go ahead and review the book. Before I start off with my review, I want to go ahead and say that I am a huge fan of the ACOSF series. I have fan art on Fair and Reese, I have bookmarks, I have book sleeves, I have mugs. I love them. I love that world of Prithian, and I was so excited to get started on this book and dive right in with another one of my favorite characters, which was Cassian. I loved Cassian in the original books. He was this strong Illyrian general. I mean, people were scared of him. The way he fought in ACOSF, I mean, I was so excited to get into that again and see him being a general. So I was really looking forward to that. Nesta, when I did my reread for ACOSF, I paid more attention to Nesta as a character, knowing that this book was going to be about her. I pinpointed or highlighted things about her, and I was really excited to see where Sarah J. Maas was going with Nesta's character. I highlighted things that for me were foreshadowing into Nesta's background, Nesta's ancestry. Why was she so different as a human? You know, things like that. So I was really looking forward to exploring more about that in this book and seeing her power grow and seeing something epic coming from her. Okay, so those were my thoughts going into the book. I had just finished a reread of the ACOSF series, so I was on a high. Okay, maybe that was my mistake. And I guess you can see where I'm going with this review, because I was up here thinking, okay, this is going to be epic following A Court of Wings and Ruin. I was severely let down. I'm sorry to say, and I gotta say, I mean, I wanted to cry because it wasn't what I expected. So going in, I was expecting something along the lines of Dark Phoenix, where we see Nesta's power grow. Oh, before I go into this review, for those of you just who are watching this, I haven't said any spoilers yet, but I will say spoilers in this review. So if you haven't read the book, stop right here and don't continue on, because there will be spoilers in this review. If you've read the book, then, you know, feel safe, I guess, to go on. But if you haven't read it and want to read it and don't want spoilers, do not listen to this video. Stop right here and turn it off and come back when you finish the book. But okay, so now continuing. I was expecting her to show her power more. In ACOSF, Fair assumes or has a theory that Nesta has the power of death based on her conversation with the bone carver. So then in this book we see towards the beginning, or like halfway through, that she's having a nightmare and Reese says she has the power of death, right? Okay, so Nesta has the power of death. She's a death god. Why is it never shown? Why can't we see it? Why do we never see her power? It's very, very brief at the end of the book, but it's an 800-page book, and there's nothing of it until the end. So I think for me, coming into this book, that was probably the biggest letdown, because I wanted something epic from Nesta. I mean, she was being built up to be something epic, something scary, something terrifying, something that would, her power, I wanted to see her be consumed by her power and make her enemies tremble, make monsters bow. I mean, I wanted her to be consumed by her anger, her resentfulness. I wanted it all, and then I wanted to see that power just like burst free, explode. And then I wanted to see healing. I like the healing part of the book. I like that she is healing. Do I think it needed to be 700 pages long of healing? No, I don't. I think a good writer can make a healing process concise and for you to understand. I don't think it has to be 700 pages of it. I don't think this was an epic fantasy. I mean, the ACOSF series, the Throne of Glass series, is an epic young adult fantasy. I mean, how can, I don't know. So that's where I'm upset, because it just wasn't what I thought. So let me say what I liked about it before I continue on, because I can go on and on and on about what I didn't like. But let's do positives. I like her healing process. I like that she trains with Cassian. I like that he teaches her how to fight, how to defend herself. I think for a woman who's been through trauma, that's amazing. I mean, definitely self-defense, getting strong, that's really important when you're healing mentally and all that. I like her found family with Gwyn and Emery. I really like that. I like their training to become Valkyrie and to bring that back, and for them to be the first ones to do it. I like that. Part 4 of the book made it for me. I mean, part 4 is what I was expecting for the whole book. And part 4 felt disconnected from the rest of the book, to be honest. I mean, it was like smut, training, and then action. Part 4. So part 4 is what I liked. I once I got to part 4, I couldn't put the book down. I finished it like that. And then it was over. And I was like, you get like 3 paragraphs of her fighting the queen and winning, and then you get a chapter of her saving Farah, but then that's it. Then her power's gone. So we'll never see it again. So I was like, I love it. I love the ending, and I love her sacrifice for Farah and Rhys and the baby. I love that. I think that was the ultimate redemption for Nesta for all those years she let Farah down. It happened too fast. It was over really fast. So it's disappointing. The first 3 parts of the book were mainly smut with some loose stories sprinkled around it. I mean, I'm all for some steamy scenes. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy steamy scenes. But I guess that wasn't what I was expecting, I guess. I mean, out of this thick book, you know? I mean, if I wanted to read erotica, I would find a book about erotica. You know, I wouldn't get this one necessarily, but this is what we're getting with it. So now we know that SJM can write erotica. Good job. So another thing I didn't like, Cassian. Where is the Cassian from A Court of Wings and Ruin? Where is he? He's not in this book. I'm sorry to say. He's not. You can name this character Cassian, but that's not him. We never see him be a general. We never see him dealing with the Illyrian troops. So you can tell me, okay, this book is about Nesta, it's not about Cassian. Okay, but then why do we get Cassian's point of view? Cassian's point of view is throughout the whole book. So I definitely wanted to see him dealing at least one time with the Illyrian people. I wanted to see him dealing with the rebels in the armies. I wanted to see him dealing with Devlin, with the camp. I mean, in Court of Frost and Starlight, I thought that's where it was gonna go, and we don't see any of that here. Not to mention the inner circle. Moore is in it twice, if that. And then Reese, I mean, I guess someone else pointed out that we're seeing Reese now from a different perspective. We're seeing him from Nesta's perspective, who Nesta doesn't like him. So we're not going to see Reese painted all nice and shining like he was in the other books. But Reese is not, I don't know, he's not how they painted him here. Now, another thing that I thought maybe he's painted in this book a little bit aggressive and territorial, which he wasn't ever before, because Feyre's pregnant. And, you know, Fey males can be, they go back to their primitive instincts. So perhaps that's why we see him in a different way. I beg Sarah J. Maas to not further ruin his character for me in the next book. I just want to say that, because Reese is my favorite male character of all the fantasy books that I've read. So I beg you to please not ruin his character. So there's several good action scenes throughout the book. There's one where Nesta's confronted with a Kelpie. There's the one with Lanthus. Those were over in 4 paragraphs. I wanted more. I wanted more epic scenes. We get chapters and chapters of her and Cassian, you know, and it's like, I guess I knew it was gonna be adult coming into it, and she did say this is her sexiest book. I get it, you know, I get that in A Court of Mist and Fury we only got one chapter with Rhysand and Feyre. Personally, that was fine with me. I enjoy smut as much as the next person, and I love steamy scenes. I love From Blood and Ash, and I love how Jennifer Armentrout can do action and balance it with steam. I like steamy scenes. This felt like porn to me. It felt icky. It felt like there was no lead up into it. It was just like, bam, his cock. Oof. I can't. I don't know. I was like, oh, I'm not a prude. And this was like, ew. I mean, I want it. Just decide what you want to be, book. Decide. Do you want to be fantasy? Do you want to be paranormal romance? Do you want to be smut? Do you want to be erotica? I don't know what you're telling me. I don't know what's coming from this book. I didn't get anything that I wanted. I literally rolled my eyes so many times. I scoffed at the book. I was like, I'm not finishing this. I just didn't. It was a letdown. I was ready to rate this 2 stars, 1.5 stars, until part 4. Part 4 was good. That's what I wanted. I loved part 4. Part 4 raised it to me and ended up making me think, okay, I hope the next book is better. I love Azrael, and I can't wait to see more about him. We hardly know him, so I can't wait. I guess it's my fault going into this with my expectations of the year, but to be fair, my expectations were high based on her previous work. I mean, I was expecting something along the lines, you know how Throne of Glass, if you've read it, you know, it starts off slow, but then it gets good. Now, that's another thing. Or you're telling me, okay, we're just going to start off slow because that's what she did with A Court of Thorns and Roses. Okay, that was book 1 of the series. This is supposed to be book 4. So, if you're telling me, hey, this is a whole new series, this is going to be book 1 of a whole different thing, then I would have been like, okay, I can see that, then that's fine. Because, you know, we're switching to adults, we're gonna see more of these characters, and then it'll be fine. Then I can deal with it, have started super slow and been something completely different. Because, you know, she did that with A Court of Thorns and Roses. It didn't get, like, action until the last 30% of the book. But, this is not book 1. This is book 4. So if you're gonna, this was completely disconnected from the rest of the series. So either revise that and make this book 1 of a whole new series, and then maybe, you know, it might not be so confusing. But for me, it was like, I started reading and I was like, this has nothing, this does not even feel like the same world. This does not even feel like Prithian. This does not feel like the rest of the series. It felt really off. There was a scene where Nesta's watching Asjo and Cassian work out, and she's picturing a threesome with them. And, you know, okay, but where did that come from? Since when? I mean, it just doesn't feel, it feels so like thrown in just to be adult, just to be risque. You know, it didn't feel cohesive. You know, I think for all of us who are fans of Sarah J. Maas and we're fans of, you know, Jennifer Armentrout and the From Blood and Ash series, you know, what we're all hoping for in book 3. I'm not gonna say I'm not hoping for that, but it's cohesive. It's something that's been built up. It's not gonna just be thrown in just for the hell of it, you know. And that's what I feel this book. This book is like so adult, and she's trying too hard to now be adult for whatever reason, because Crescent City is supposed to be adult, and I loved Crescent City. It didn't feel icky. It didn't feel like I was reading a porn. You know, I think there has to, let's keep it classy, people. I mean, there's eroticas, there's porn. Y'all want that? It's there. The market's out there. This is not what I was looking for. So yeah, so it was disappointing. And I feel really extremely let down as a big fan of her in this series. So I don't understand the people who rate it 5 stars. And I'm totally open for discussion about this. I really want to discuss it because I would love to see everyone else's point of view. If there's anything I missed, that's another thing. My mind is just jumping from thing to thing here. So, you know that scene in Throne of Glass where Aelin's falling through the worlds and they mention Rhys in it? And I love that part because when I read ACOTAR first and then I read Throne of Glass. And when I read that scene, I was like, oh my god, crossover, yay! Okay, so it seems to me like she's setting up for a crossover eventually, which would be fun if she doesn't screw it up like she screwed up this book. I'm sorry. I really don't want to sound hateful, but I'm so in pain. I'm so much emotional pain over this book that I don't know. It's mentioned like in one tiny sentence about a red star that was falling. I hope you guys caught that. That was pretty cool. So that I think that will, I don't know if that will be brought up later, but that was pretty cool. I am excited for the following book. I'm not gonna hype myself up because we see what happens when I'm hyped up. Big letdown. I'm gonna go in with 0 expectations. Crescent City 2, going in with 0 expectations because I heard her interview saying it's gonna rival this book for sexiness. So it's gonna be more porn. And hopefully there's a story around it. But I'm gonna go in with zero expectations. And hopefully be, pleasantly surprised. But that's basically my review for this book, unfortunately. And no one's more sad than me because I was looking forward to this book so much. So final rating 3.5 stars, which for me, I feel I'm being extremely generous with the 3.5 stars because the more I think about it, the more angry I get. And the more I want to be like 2 stars, but no, I'm not. Because the part 4 could be its own book and I'd be so happy with it. In fact, cut out the first 3 parts and just make it part 4 and I'd be happy. So part 4 in and of itself is 5 stars. The rest of the book is 2 stars. So I guess we're meeting in the middle with 3.5 stars. And yeah, I mean, if someone wants to discuss this with me, I'm not trying to bash her. I'm so heartbroken. I'm so disappointed. as a fan, you know, I didn't pick up this book thinking I was going to hate it. I didn't pick up this book to say I'm going to read it and then bash her. No. I picked up this book with all the love in my heart, with like, I'm going to love this. It's going to be a 5-star read. I'm so excited. And then it wasn't. So I made this review with, as a person who trusted an author, as a person who loves these characters, and was completely severely let down. I mean, I said this before, and I feel like she did a disservice to Prithian. She did a disservice to the characters, to the story, what it could have been. I mean, it could have been so much more. I feel like after all these months leading up to this book, all the fans had so many theories. And I had theories among them. I mean, this is why I went back and reread the books and highlighted passages. I mean, I had my theories, and none of those theories are here. I'm sorry to say. I don't know why people are saying this is better than her best writing. It's not. If you think it's her best writing because it has multiple sex scenes, then that's a problem. That's not what the story's about. I mean, there's so it didn't even feel like romance. I didn't feel a nice fuzzy feeling when they finally, you know, did the deed, and when, you know, they declare their mates, and I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel anything at all. And that's the saddest part. So I go into this review as a broken-hearted fan, severely let down. So that's why I guess I'm harsh. That's why, because I'm angry. Because I have passion for this series. I have passion for books. And when they don't meet, I guess, what I was expecting, Is that my own fault, though? Is that my own fault for hyping myself up and expecting something? Maybe. You know, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should go in with no expectations every time I pick up a new book. But why? I mean, like I said, I base my expectations on her previous work. Look at my bookshelf. My 2 collector's editions, or I have 3, but 2 of them are Sarah J. Maas. Sarah J. Maas, Sarah J. Maas, Sarah J. Maas. Like, I love her. So, I mean, I love her. I love her work. And then you're going to give me this? No. No. I was so mad. So, this is why. This is why I may sound like I'm bashing, but it's because I'm just so passionate about it. And I'm so sad. So I don't even know. Crescent City 2, I hope, is good. I'm going to go with no expectations. I'm not even going to reread Crescent City 1. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to go in, and I'm not going to pre-order it. I'm just going to buy it at the store, and I'm just going to treat it like I've never read a Sarah J. Maas before, and I'm just going to go in like that. Because I cannot deal with this heartbreak. It's been over a week, and I'm still sad. I can't get over it. And I want to feel how I used to feel about ACOSF. And now I can't say it's my favorite series because I can't. It's not. So please, someone change it to a different series. Revise it, something. I don't know. But it is what it is. And that's my review for that. I hope to do more of these videos. I really enjoy doing them. And you know, if anyone wants to discuss it, I'm up for discussing it. I would love to see everyone's different point of view, what they got out of the book. I know a lot of it is dealing with mental health and PTSD and stuff like that, and I get that. I do. That's one of the things I liked about the book, is she's healing from that. Do I think it needed to be 700 pages of it? Do I needed to see the death god dancing and playing with bubbles? No. Maybe after she had done some destroying. Maybe after I had seen some action. But there's nothing. So, you know, I think I said what I felt about it, and I don't want to sound repetitive. So, that's my review for that. I'd like to do soon I'd like to do a video of an unboxing for Faye Crate, because I got my first box from them and that's exciting. And then you know, some other books, some other releases and things like that. We'll see. First I have to get over this heartbreak and then go from there, put my life back together. And yeah, so thank you for watching. If you have a different feeling, please tell me, you know, comment, send me messages. I love it. So if you feel the same, definitely comment and message me, because I feel like hardly no one else feels the same as me. So I definitely want to know more people who are with the same mind. And yeah, thank you for watching, and thank you for listening.